What is going on, DFS world? I'm BobbyFi. I'm here just bringing you my lineups of the day. I'm going to go through my lineups on Draftkings and Fanduel at first glance. More than first glance, I've done some digging, but I'm going to continue doing more. There's a few stacks that I really like tonight. It's hard to narrow them down. I know people will be heavy on the Angels and Twins. I am going to have some exposure to the Angels. I'm going to have some stacks of the Twins. I'm probably not going to fully stack the Angels as many as most. Their bullpen is garbage, is beaten up. We don't know how long Richard will go. I understand the argument for it. But Richard, like the problem with him is he doesn't give up a ton of bombs. He keeps the ball on the ground mostly. And it's just when everybody's going to go there, I'm going to try and find ways to pivot off when I like other stacks as much as I do, but still obviously have some exposure. You can see in this first lineup here that I've got, basically I'm going with a Blue Jays stack with the two Angels, two of the chalk ones, Upton and Trout. And obviously, I'm going to change this Danny Jansen as I see that he's not in the lineup because we didn't have lineups at first when we did this. And that's a very simple pivot because I was ready for it to switch just to Luke Maile as a part to complete the stack, paying down for minimum price catcher. I also don't mind if you're going to pay down. I would suggest you, if it wasn't a stack, using Zanino if you aren't using Montez in that lineup, which I would imagine you probably aren't. So we're going to end up having to change this one real quick over here to Maile. I left 100 just in case on both of them with the stacks. Actually, this is not the stack one, so this one is one unfortunately, we do have Montez, so we will probably go back to Maile for now. But at catcher, I mean, if you're not paying down, I think that it's worth it to pay up for Gary Sanchez if that's how they build, if your lineups builds go. I also like the Phillies tonight. I know Fetty keeps the ball on the ground as well, but like Hoskins and Harper especially can get the ball in the air. So I like them quite a bit. And then you talk about, they can get to any pitcher and get your pitch count up quickly. So if they can get to Fetty, like I don't like that bullpen behind them. I trust this Philly offense. Kingery has been terrific. He's another guy that can get the ball in the air as well against these ground ball pitchers. And then Real Muto, because I don't love the catcher position. And it's a guy who I don't know if people will play because if they're paying up, they'll pay up. If they're paying down, they'll pay down. I don't think they'll look for him at 4,300. So I like this lineup. I went with Wainwright and LeBlanc as sort of a mock thing. I do prefer Dylan Bundy, and I have more Dylan Bundy, but I'm going to end up probably a little higher on Bundy than I am right now. And I might mix in some more of the rookie against the Cardinals, although I'm starting to think I want to get a little more Cardinals exposure and build a Cardinals stack because I could see that one going the other way. So that's sort of the one stack that I don't have yet that I think I need to get. And in my big buy-in lineups, that is. You can see over here, I'm going with the Blue Jays and Twins, like we talked about. I think that the Blue Jays with the two Angels and then Polanco as a one-off, I think makes a lot of sense. This is my pay up at pitching lineup, Morton and Montez. I don't like paying up at pitching tonight in general, but I like making a line. There's cheap enough bats where you can make a pretty decent lineup. And I sort of went with a weird one with a weird contrarian stack and not even using like Justin Turner. I know people don't care about BVP, and I think Turner will break out of it. I don't think those numbers are worth anything, but he has been owned by Bumgarner in the past. But that's not even why I looked at it. I just like to play the unowned Dodger lefties in general against lefties where they have just as much power. Muncy, we saw him take Bumgarner deep last time. We see Bellinger take lefties deep. It feels like every night. And then you've got the Taylor and Kiki value. I expect both of them to have a little bit of ownership, but I don't see people stacking this. And I like, to try and pay up in both spots on one. I'm probably going to take Morton out of this other big, out of my three big ones and probably move down to someone else who I'm still deciding on. It may be another Wainwright. It may be another LeBlanc. Maybe it will be another Morton. It may even be another Odorizzi. I'm just not sold on it yet at that price. I think Morton and Montez are slightly better plays, but I do think Odorizzi is interesting. I'm sort of scrambling on those guys because I'm not really sure where I finally stand. Teoscar just got announced in the lineup, which moved Grichuk down a little bit. Doesn't really bother me anything. Actually, I think it moved Grichuk down. I haven't seen the full lineup yet, but I just saw a notification. I like the Blue Jays. I like them more as a mini stack, and it's partly price enforced. I especially like Vlad. I don't mind playing Biggio in these matchups. They realize how good he is. They're going to play him against lefties, righties. He's batting cleanup. Like, let's go for it. I think that also, off the board, assuming that Tellez is in the lineup, I don't know whether he is or not. I'm assuming after 2 home runs against lefties, he would be. But I don't know for sure because, again, I haven't taken a look at it yet. I'm just giving you my early thoughts. Anyway, that's sort of a rundown. I'm just going to scroll down through, where, sort of my lineup stand. I'm going to make a lot of changes. We don't even have lineups yet. There's already guys I can see who are out of them. This is just my initial thoughts. And then on FanDuel over here, I'm leaning for, Bundy and Morton as my SP1s. I think Bundy's going to be low owned over here, and I kind of like it. So I wanted to try and pay up for Trout and Yelich, or Trout and Bellinger in one lineup, or even all three. And but instead, I ended up with a nice Milwaukee stack with the two-man running it back sort of on the other side with Dietrich and Winker, who are both underpriced in a pretty good matchup. So against Nelson, who's been kind of off. Of course, the bullpen's decent, but it's not what it was last year. I think that we take a look at this spot, and I really like that that game stack. And then we're back to Twins. They're gonna look. I'm gonna have to try and find ways to pivot off of them, stack the bottom of them, figure out a way to do it that's going to be lower owned, because I'm imagining that's where everybody's going to go. And I'm worried that what if Sparkman might actually not be as bad as we think he is. He's sort of held some pretty decent offenses, not in check, but they haven't really done all that much against him. And, if the game was in Minnesota even, I would like it a little bit better, although I do like them better on the road. You get the extra at bat. I like the hitting conditions better in Minnesota for power in general than I do Kansas City. But this is where I'm sort of leaning early in the day. Any thoughts, please hit me up on Twitter. No need to DM me. Go ahead and publicly ask any question you want to ask. I love answering questions. Check out my YouTube Twitch show later, which will have some more up-to-the-moment stuff. Got a bunch of action on State Kings tonight. I know that's a hot topic for people in the industry, and I cannot, I can figure out why, but I think it's ridiculous and I think it's wrong. I'm enjoying being a part of State Kings, and if you want any action, come on in. I think there's still a tiny bit left to be sold, but thanks so much for checking this out. Please like and subscribe. I'm not always going to tweet out when I make these videos, so I would love for you guys to see them. And you're getting just free access to information. Take it or leave it. And yeah, this is my whole thing, complete transparency. Thanks a lot, guys. Let me know your thoughts anywhere. I look forward to seeing you guys in a couple hours on Twitch.